loving yourself, accepting yourself, growing in yourself is one of the best achievements that we could ever accomplish. Best accomplishment. It's easy to take out what we don't like about us on others. And trust me, there's not one person in this world who, no matter who they are, that's not critical of themselves to some degree. We all are. We all, yeah, we do, especially us women. We critical. hmm We are very, very critical of ourselves and each other, but not everybody. I can't speak for all of us, but some of us. And so, in my walk with Christ, I had to learn that I'm going to bump my head, that I will do it overnight, that there's some things that I may have to change, that I may not want to. Some people along the way that you just have to let go of. Some Because if they're not walking with you in Christ and they trying to pull you in the other direction, and if they're not going the way you going, you gonna have to leave them on the side of the road. It's not that you think you better or think that that you're trying to be heartless or just even uncaring. But if someone's trying to pull you back in a direction that you don't want to go, sometimes you have to turn them loose, cut them off, be done. Yep, I said that. Done. You have to. Because if they're not walking in the same direction you walking, you're going to either turn around or just be lost. You got to have a good map quest. You got to have a good GPS system with you. God is the GPS. He's the pathfinder, the way maker. And I learned that. I learned that throughout everything that I've gone through in my life, and all of the trials and tribulations and hard times and heartaches, that God is the one constant. And people don't believe. You missing out for those who don't believe. So I'm just saying, more for me. I'm okay with that. Don't believe. More love for me. More love for me. And in finding God, I found myself. I cut all the perm off my hair. I got my little natural hair going on. Yes, I do. And honestly, at a point in my life, did I ever love perms? No. I just didn't like my hair. I'm going to be honest. I didn't like my hair. I didn't like the fact that I even had to comb my hair with a perm. Just going to be honest. I didn't want nobody else's hair. I just didn't like uh, the time constraints. I didn't like sitting in the uh, hairdressers 24/7 trying to get my hair whipped. I didn't like the time, which natural hair takes time, but no, that was part of my transformation. My hair was part of my transformation. It was me learning to grow and accept who I was, and I didn't know how to take care of my hair, and I'm learning how to take care of my hair now. And I think that makes the difference, because when you go and just slapping a perm upside your head just because it's convenient and it's easier, you just don't want to deal with it. It makes it more manageable. Everything isn't always about trying to be someone else. Sometimes it's just easy and convenient. And I never thought that by having a perm, I was trying to be anybody else other than me. It was convenient. I didn't have to bother with it. I guess I can just come out and say lazy. I love my braids. I love wigs still right now, because I don't have to fuss with my hair all the time. But I've learned to love my hair so well that I can't keep my hands out of my head. It's like I never would have thought that I would have fallen in love with my hair, my natural texture, when I didn't like the perms. I'm going to be honest. I'm one of those people. I didn't like perms. I did not like perms. I did not like the burn. I didn't care for the result. I didn't like limp hair. I always liked big, poofy hair. But I had a perm at a very young age. I have to say I was probably like maybe 8. 8 or so. But I do remember getting my hair pressed. I do remember my beads, and I do remember my mom perming my hair because it was more convenient and she was tired of fooling with it. But for the longest time, I remember getting my hair pressed and getting it beaded and plaited, and my sister pressed, and my older sister pressed my hair. So it wasn't like I didn't know how my hair looked. I just didn't know the healthiest state of my hair. But I didn't like the perms. I never liked the burn, and I never put on a wig trying to be anybody else. It's just for convenient purposes. For me, I didn't like sitting in the hairdressers for 5 hours just waiting to get in the chair. I didn't like it sometimes 2 hours, depending on how many people booked. Then you have to go to another hairdresser. I mean, it's time consuming. And growing in Christ, I found and discovered myself. I remember saying something really bad about my hair. I am so tired of this hair. I remember saying it, and it was perms. And it wasn't that I'm comparing it like, it's not like I said, oh, I want that person's hair, or I want that person's hair. I just didn't want to fool with my own. And in finding Christ, I also found me. I found me, and I learned to, not that everybody, I'm not saying everybody has to go natural and liberate yourself. It's your head. Do what you want to with your hair. It's your hair. If you want to fry it, dye it, blow dry it, it's your hair. Do you. That's the way I feel. Do you. We all have to do what's best for ourselves. End of the day, end of discussion. No more, no less. What's best for us. But for me, this was what was best for me, but I didn't know that. And when I started reading my Bible, I started reading about how we were made in the image of God, and how he says, in the Bible it says we are beautiful, and it says we are more than conquerors, and it says a lot of good, lovely things about us, about the children of God, about all of his creations. And I read about, that we were made in the image of God, and at that time, it's almost like a ding went off in my head that I'm sitting here hating my hair, but it's mine, and it was given to me, and it's who I am. And so I not to try to become someone else. I lost myself. And in just this transformation in Christ, I found myself. I didn't go natural because everybody else went natural. Because I'm just not one of those people. Even at a young age, I know when to fall back, and I know when to speak my mind. So it's not even that I'm going to do something that somebody else is doing just because they're doing it. If I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it. I don't care who doing it. I idolize God. I don't care who do it. If I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it. I'm not one of those people that's going to do something just because everybody else is doing it. But before I did this, a few years ago, I actually wanted to do it a few years ago, but I didn't know how. I didn't think then to research, because I called a flack one time. Someone said something about my hair because I had it in braids. I had it in micro braids, and he said, "Oh, that's not appropriate." It was just pulled back in a bun. Pulled back in a bun, and I was told that wasn't appropriate because it was braids. And I thought, I should dread my hair. If this is not appropriate, maybe I should dread my hair. Maybe I should learn how to wear my natural hair. But I never took those steps then. But I thought about it. And in Christ, I found myself. I found me, and I accept me for who I am. And I'm not the type of person. I'm just going to keep it real. Yeah, I will be wearing wigs. Yeah, I may wear some extensions. But I learned that our hair is so delicate that it needs a braid. That's so convenient for me. I'm okay. I'll give you a break, but I can't keep my hands out my head.